All the reaction and analysis. The All Sport Breakfast. Until 9 with Peter Kelly of Bailey's Real Estate. Trust a proven performer. News Talk ZB.
You and me going fishing in the dark, lying on our backs and counting the stars where the cool grass grows. Down by the river in the full moonlight, we'll be falling in love in the middle of the night, just moving slow. Staying the whole night through, feels so good to be.
Yippee-ki-yay, campers, it's a Saturday morning and guess what? It's time to talk fishing for an hour and then sport for an hour, and in between time Chris Bungard's here to talk intelligence and I'm here doing my best to completely stuff it up. So hey, great to have you along on a Saturday morning that's just beautiful. 1 week's time too, Bunch. Te Kauai Country Markets are on next week and that's going to be a ball out there. It's a great day out at Te Kauai, out at plane rides and markets and food and all those good things on a Saturday.
Beautiful, mate. Beautiful.
Did I turn you on yet?
No.
How about that? I forgot to turn you on.
Yeah, that's a scary thought, isn't it?
I'm trying to tell you something.
Could you make it a little more precise for people listening out there and saying you're trying to turn the switch on?
Yeah, look, I forgot to put your slide up to allow you to talk into your microphone to make your dulcet tones go out to the airways of the Waikato.
The day you turned me on, Cobra, I'm going to give up the show.
Look, I'm not going to say this, but the feeling's quite mutual.
Yeah,
just
thank
saying,
you.
right.
I'm very pleased about that. We're on opposite sides of the desk, which is good. Hey, look, a very good morning to everybody out there. I hope you're having a great day. Beautiful sunshine. Okay, sorry for the farmers. I apologise because beautiful sunshine is just not what you need at the moment. There was a beautiful bit of rain around earlier in the week. We got about, 15, 20 mils, and Mintie's just bringing up a picture of a marlin caught yesterday out off Raglan, so that's great. Good to see the few coming in out there. It's a beautiful weekend for West Coast fishing. Today, and particularly tomorrow, is going to be an absolute cracker. 10 knot variables out at Raglan, Kawhia, the West Coast, Waikato, Manukau, all down that side there, and there's a few fish around as well. Last week was a wee bit quiet out there. We went out on Sunday, and there was only 2 marlin caught on the coast, or off Raglan, Kawhia that particular weekend or that day. A little bit quiet, but I think the new moon had something to do with that. And this week, if you can get out there, looks like a bit of a blow coming in on Monday and Tuesday, though. But certainly today and tomorrow, you should better get out there. So we'll talk to Dwayne Pinney, see what the conditions are like out there. Hey, something that I'd like to mention, Mintie, that I sent an email through to you about is this wonderful guy called Bryce Deneen. Now, you might have seen it on TV, actually. It was on a program, I can't remember whether it was one of the programs that are on just after the news, the current affairs programs and that sort of thing. But Bryce has become a tetraplegic, and he loves his fishing, and it was through a dive accident, actually, in shallow water. We're going to get him on the show next week, hopefully. But the Matamata Lions Club are trying to get in behind Bryce's adventure, if you like, here, and they're building this beautiful big catamaran over in Tauranga. It's getting near completion, actually, but the old story, when you get near completion, the old budget starts getting real tight and that sort of thing. And they're holding a charity dinner and auction over there at Matamata on the 10th of March. It's going to be on a Wednesday evening on the 10th of March. It's going to be a fantastic evening. If you want to get, learn a bit more about that, give me a call at the shop and that sort of thing. I can put you onto the right numbers, or get a hold of the Lions Club in Matamata. It's going to be a great event, and we're trying to raise money for this beautiful big boat. And what he wants to do is get this boat together and take people out that are, disabled and that sort of thing, and that love their fishing. So I think it's what an awesome cause. So if you're into fishing and that sort of thing, and you got your own boat, like I'm lucky enough to have, and different things like that, and you think, wow, well, how do some of these disabled people and that sort of thing get out there? So Bryce Deneen, he's putting this together over in the bay with other people, and we'll talk to him hopefully next week and learn a bit more about it. But keep that date in mind, the 10th of March in Matamata. It's at the event centre over there. It's run by the Matamata Lions Club. What a wonderful gesture. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, we're going to do some stuff on that next week, and I've forwarded that stuff to just about everybody I can find within the NZME network. I've got to say, we're looking at that photo, Leighton Paikau Empson and his brother Grant Empson out of Kawhia yesterday, 99 kilo marlin.
Beautiful.
He put some photos up earlier of the bait ball.
Yeah.
And he said he was in 50 metres of water, just off Taharoa, like we were fishing the other day with
Yep,
Dwayne.
yep.
And just the bait balls and the fish and the stuff that was going on there's just out of this world.
It's good to see, man. Good to see. So if you ever want the opportunity to get out the West Coast, tomorrow would be the day. Tomorrow, 10 knot variables out there, less than a metre swell. It'll be absolutely gorgeous.
I have to go to Papamoa.
Oh, bother.
I'm doing a wedding on the beach in
Yes,
Jandals.
well, I'm going to be at Waihi, so I can't go fishing
You
either.
should talk to Daryl because he's really cool about doing nothing at the moment because he's doing as much as we are.
Yeah. Right, well, let's head up to the beautiful Coromandel now and find out what's happening for you up there. And you don't have to look out the window to see that it should be fairly pleasant. And a man who knows that area like the back of his proverbial hand, of course, he's still got the boys out there running the boats, so he'll have a finger on the pulse of what's going on. Good morning, young Daryl.
Yeah, good morning, boys. Yeah, Mintie hit the nail on the head there, getting a bit bored, bit of cabin fever, sitting around doing bugger all with this crook ankle, of course. But, that's just the way it is. But, looking out the window now, Bungie, it's looking like a fantastic day. And the forecast confirms that too. It's variable 5 this morning and then sort of 10 knots southwest this afternoon, something. So, it's looking like a really good weekend ahead, like you say, if you're keen to get out there, this is the weekend to do it. So, no excuses, eh?
Absolutely, my friend. How is the ankle coming along anyway?
Oh, just as expected, I guess. Still a little bit of pain there, and I've got 6 more weeks in a cast before I can put any weight on it, put a moon boot on after that, and then another 8 weeks in the moon boot. So, it's a long process. But, just has to be done properly, of course, and you've got to listen to what the doctors say, otherwise you're back to square one. So, a bit boring at this stage, but I am managing to get out. I jumped on the golf cart the other day and went around with my old man at the golf course, so that was nice to watch him play a few holes.
And the wife's nurse's uniform that you got fits okay?
Yeah, she's... well, let's just say she's not that happy, but she's doing a great job, of course.
Excellent, mate. I'm glad she's looking after you. Hey, listen, mate, what's been happening out there? Talking to Brian, a courier driver in Matamata yesterday, and he was up there... when he always goes to Te Coomera, he likes to drag his boat over the hill there and prefers that area. And, man, there was one barge, he said, working just round the corner from, obviously, you'd know where. And, boy, he got into them straight away. And he was just using not a soft bait, but he was using the little soft bait jig heads and just putting a little bit of bait on that, a little bit of floppy squid or something like that, and just flickering into the burley trail coming off the boat there. And he said the snapper were actually leaving the water, like jumping half out of the water, and their heads were out, their tails were out and everything in that slurry. They were just going mental. He said it was amazing. Yeah,
I tell you what, I've seen that a number of times over the years, and then people don't really believe you until they see it themselves. And it does happen quite regularly, and you've got to be Johnny on the spot, of course. Normally about this time of the morning before the sun gets too high and too many boats sort of get in and, put the fish down a bit. But certainly this time of year for the next 2, 3, maybe even 4 months, it'll continue on like that. And indeed, we've been having some pretty good luck during the week as well. Same sort of thing by the barges. Even without the barges, there, where they've recently been harvesting, has been treating us really nice lately, Bungie.
Yeah.
We spoke about that over the years, targeting those areas where the boys have recently been harvesting. And by recent, I mean the last sort of 3, 4, 5 days a week even.
Yeah.
The fish will hang around those spots, and if you know where they've been, just keep going back there, and you'll be rewarded. So we're coming up to that good time of year, and the results are really good at the moment. So it's all good.
Yeah, man, you got low tide this morning coming up shortly, about 8 o'clock, and so people are about to fish that change of the tide. That's been quite good, isn't it, that last sort of hour going out, and it's a 1.7 metre tide, so not huge tide, so out in the middle should be quite good for fishing. You won't have too much of a tide run, and with that variable wind, the boat will hang exactly the way the current's running anyway. I see Monday, Tuesday, they're talking a nor'easterly getting up at 15 knots, so, I mean, that's pretty pleasant as well around the Coromandel.
Yeah, no problem on this side with the northeast over Whitianga, Matamata, and that they might get a bit of a swell running there, but of course on our side of the western peninsula here, that's not a problem. And like I say, we've been doing quite well down the Gulf there, and like you say, with the smaller tides, it's not a problem. The world's your oyster this weekend, and you should be coming home with a few good fish in the bin. We've been targeting most of our efforts down in that A block out of Wilson's Bay, Waikato area there. If you head out, you'll probably see one of our 3 boats out there somewhere doing it. So just park up a few metres away, and shouldn't be a problem.
Good on you, my friend. You have a great day, and look after that little nurse of yours. And,
she just texted through. She said, keeping him out of trouble, he's taken up knitting.
Is he?
Yes.
I don't think I'm not that bored yet, Mintie.
I would have said more macrame myself, but however, that's okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at macrame after 20 years on a charter boat.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. All right, mate. You have a great day, eh?
Yeah, you too. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you next week.
Cheers, mate. Now, young Darryl from Snapper Safaris up there in the Coromandel. Great bloke. Awesome guy. Hell of a lot of fun, and if you get a chance to get out there on these boats, you will have a lot of fun. Oh, it's awesome.
It's gentlemanly fishing.
Yeah, I love it. Even though I've got my own boat and I've had my own boat for years, it's lovely to get out with another guy, especially someone like Darryl who knows what he's doing. He's pleasant to be with, and you just have a great day. It's awesome.
It's fun. Now, I just had some thing. Is it the National Game Fishing Tournament?
The Nationals are starting next week, yes.
Yeah,
that's
just
right.
had Phil Martinovich ring in. They've got a boat out of Whitianga. Is it Greg, someone out of Matamata?
Oh, yeah, Greg Stitchbury?
That's him. They're going on a Stitchery boat, and they're going to spend some days out of Whitianga chasing marlin.
And Stephen Cox, old Coxie, he's out there with his boy as well. They'll have a great time.
I'm sure they will.
Stitch is an excellent bloke, Now, they were in the other day, and Stitch picked up a new lure that he likes, a 5.5 purple and black Zuka. Okay. Secret weapon, apparently. Oh, did I just tell everyone? Oh,
a
sorry.
Secret weapon?
Yeah.
I thought the secret weapon those blokes took was a bottle of Appletons.
Well, yeah. Kraken's pretty good too, actually, to be fair. Hey, look, we'll be back in a moment. Love to hear from you. Now, look, don't forget, today you still got a chance to get in the draw for that beautiful Tiagra 50, and I'll tell you what, they're as scarce as hen's teeth at the moment. You can't buy a game fishing reel in the country at the moment to save yourself. So it's a Tiagra 50 on a Backbone Elite. Beautiful setup. It could be yours on the first weekend in March. We will draw that, and you could be out, catch a beautiful marlin on it during the month of March. So let's hope that works. Also, of course, from Dinsdale Jewelers, Mike and the team down there, they've got that beautiful Olympic watch.
Saw him this morning.
Absolute cracker.
Down at the BP, he was getting coffee and I was getting coffee.
Oh, nice.
Morning, Michael, I says.
Nice.
It was nice.
What are you bribing him for these days?
Nothing. Well, he replaced my watch that got stolen. He flew it in from Melbourne for me, which I really appreciate.
What fantastic service, eh?
Yep, there was none left in the country, and he found one in Melbourne and flew it in for me.
Right, so give us a call. Get in the draw for that on 07 834 1296. You can text me on 0274 728 674, and of course they can email you.
They can email me, waikatosport@newstalkzb.co.nz, or get on our Facebook page, Waikato All Sports Breakfast. Chuck some photos up, chuck some fishing stories up, and enter through Messenger if you need to. The time is 7:19 in the morning, or 19 minutes past 7. You choose which way you'd like it.
All the reaction and analysis. The All Sport Breakfast. Until 9 with Peter Kelly of Bailey's Real Estate. Trust a proven performer. News Talk ZB.
And if you're looking for a job today, you could get a stop-go sign perhaps and head out to the Raglan or the Carfia boat ramp, and you might get a job there permanently for a while, I'd say. That's going to be pretty busy out there, I'm picking. But a man who knows what to do, and he just pulls up to the wharf, picks up his crew, and away he goes, of course, is owner-operator of the Clansman. The Dove and the Goose, of course, is Dwayne Penny. Good morning, mate.
Morning, Chris.
Good to have you on board this morning, my friend. Are you heading out today?
Yep, we're just going across the bar. The bar's quite flat, so plenty of boats heading out. Should be a good weekend.
Oh, I was going to say, mate, it's absolutely fantastic. We've got a big family thing on, so I can't get out there today or tomorrow. And to be fair, I'm chomping at the bit a wee bit, mate. I'm looking at me Goldie sitting in the shed there this morning when I hopped in the truck at about 5:30, and I thought, there's something wrong with this picture. But however, family comes first.
Yeah, exactly, mate. You have to take a day off work. I think most of this week's looking pretty good.
Yeah, I see there's a nor'easterly getting up Monday, Tuesday, though. Do you make much of that? Is that going to upset things much?
I haven't actually had a real good look at it, but nor'easterly should be all right. I mean, if you're going marlin fishing, we had them jumping around the boat yesterday in 45. Wild Goose saw a free jumper in 36, so you don't have to go too far out at the moment.
Wow, it's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing. I mean, over the years, we've had good numbers of marlin out there, and to be fair, you can't just skip out there and grab one. It's not quite that easy. We went out last Sunday and trolled around all day, and there was only 2 marlin caught on the coast that day, so it happened to be a bit of a quiet day, and that's the way it goes sometimes. Could be moon phase, could be tide, you just don't know with those critters. When they bite, when they don't, they don't. But there's certainly some action around, and like, have you seen them in such shallow water in such numbers before today, Dwayne?
Nah, not really. like I say, 36 metres yesterday. Lawrence had jumped heaps. Like everyone saw it, and I towed a lure out to Gannett yesterday, thinking, even when I left the 45 metre mark and heading for the bar, I towed a lure home last night. I was fairly confident would hook up, but yeah, there's just so many around. I've never seen so many, and they're not big ones in close though. Well, there will be big ones there, but there's a lot of juveniles. So the ones we've been seeing, and even Dennis saw the one they saw jumping yesterday, didn't look very big, probably only sort of 60 to 70 kilos.
Yeah, but it's amazing. Like that young Lucas, a young guy from MacGyver from Matamata, he was out there last Sunday, and they went out off Raglan. They're at about 120 metres, and they got a lovely stripey, about 122, 123 kilos on 15 kilo line weight.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's good effort.
Yeah, it took them just on 4 hours, but and it did everything right. If a fish like that decides to dive to the bottom or something like that, you can't hold him up with 15 kg. But yeah, they managed to keep him on the surface, and he showed me a video of him after 3 hours. He was still greyhounding, so yeah, pretty amazing fish. He was a tough fella, and to get it on 15 was a great effort.
Yeah, no, it is good effort. Not many people run that sort of gear these days, to be fair.
No. Well, he just thought they'd already caught a couple the week before, so they thought, I'll have a crack on light gear, and I don't know if it's some sort of record, but it's certainly, when you calculate times line weight, it's pretty fucking good. Hey, what about on the snapper scene at the moment? I know you're out there targeting them, and your boats are targeting them at the moment. I understand that's going well as well.
Yeah, a little bit patchy yesterday. During the week we loaded up early every trip, but yesterday the goose went down off Maricopa, or down off Harry where we've been fishing, and yeah, they only ended up about 40, but we come back in from Gannett Island yesterday and just about loaded up in 45 metres off Taranaki Point up off sort of towards Ruapuki. So yeah, they're a bit all over the show at the moment, but yeah, anywhere around that 40 metres was going really good during the week.
Some of your trips you had recently out to Gannett, the old bronze whaler sharks had just been a plague, and I know you got quite a few trips booked out to do kingies this time of the year. You're persevering? Are you still having a crack at the kingies?
Yeah, we had a crack yesterday. We only managed to get one in. It's pretty hard work. Those bronzies, they've really taken over out there, and even taking the jigs now, and hard work. So really you need gear like you'd use up at the Three Kings, and once you get a kingy on, you've just got to turn it and get it up within real quick. So heavy gear, but yeah, that's turning into a real nuisance out there. They weren't sort of there earlier on, but they turned up last year about this time too. So we're sort of thinking next year we might knock the kingfish trips on the head a couple of weeks earlier than normal. We normally go until about the first week of March, but yeah, every year could be different, of course.
Oh, absolutely, but it's a real pain. Honestly, they're a shocker. We a while back there, Josh and I were out at Motiti fishing off the knoll, and stray lining, which we love doing, one of our favourite ways of catching snapper, and you don't do that out the west coast, of course, because the water's too deep that you're fishing in, but we're only in about 8 metres, and it was just a plague. Every time you cast out a bronzy, you'd grab it and take your line, hook, sign and sinker, literally the whole works. It can really hinder things, especially when you're trying to run a charter boat with a heap of guys on board.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the kingies are there too, which is the most annoying part. Last week we had four bronzies on at once, and we're talking big bronzies too. They're not. Some of them you just got to cut the line. You can't even turn them. They're huge. Yeah. So and there goes $20 jig at the same time. So it's pretty frustrating, all right. But yeah, weekends aren't quite so bad because there's so many boats. It sort of scatters the bronzies around a bit instead of just concentrating on us. So yeah, we're meant to be heading back out there tomorrow. So see how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. Your thoughts today with the snapper? As you said, what depth are you catching them at the moment?
Yeah, 45 was where we hit them yesterday, and we hit them pretty good. A lot of gurnard too, not too many kahawai. So I'm heading back up off Ruapuki today, and I'm going to try up that end.
Oh, awesome, mate. Yeah, okay. All right, well, I won't get out there this weekend, but maybe during the week, if the weather looks right, I'm going to try and sneak out. I'll have to talk to my dearly beloved and the staff and see if they can look after things for me and get out there and do it.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll be at the trench Wednesday, Thursday, so I'll be out there somewhere.
Good on you, mate. You have a great day, my friend. Thanks for the time.
Okay, cheers.
Yeah, Wade Pinney on the Clansman out there doing it. The coast is just amazing at the moment out there. So if you get a chance to get out there, certainly do it. We'll be back shortly.
Yeah, well, old Jack Yakadak Peel from Raglan said they're at 33, 34 the other day, and loaded up with lots of gurnard, lots of snapper, a few less kahawai, and a few sharky friends were around too, so they're everywhere out there.
Those bronze whalers. Some of those bronze whalers that they're putting up with at Gannett there.
How big would they be?
Oh, they're 12 foot long. Honestly, they're 10 to 12 foot long, some of them. They're huge.
Bugger that.
Oh, yeah, no, they're big boys. Like, they're biting 18 to 20 kilo kingies in half in one bite. You just get the head back, that's it. The rest's gone. It's the tax man, it's called. They're taking about 40%.
Well, can we ban the bronze whalers? We've banned everything else. And
Careful now.
we need ad break, 7:29.
It's time to head off down to the beautiful Taupo region, and it's just looking an absolute picture down there this morning. I'll bet the lake will be gorgeously calm, and you've already missed this morning for an early morning hail, but I'm picking tomorrow morning. If you're looking at venturing out, early morning hail would be just a ticket. Might be a little bit chilly. We had 7 degrees during the week at home. Let's head off down there now and catch up with the man on the scene, Ken Duncan. Good morning, my friend.
Yeah, good morning, Chris. We got a little bit of fog out across the lake this morning. Real calm day, no wind as we speak. The sun's not coming through the fog, unfortunately, but it looks like it could be starting to lift a wee bit, so we're looking forward to a good day.
Well, seriously, mate, I come through the Hinewera Valley this morning by Hinewera Stone there, and I said to Mintie, and I'm not exaggerating, I think that'd be the thickest fog I've ever tried to drive through in my life. You could literally not see more than about 20 metres in front of the truck. It was just incredible. Absolute pea soup.
It's just that extremes of temperature, you know. We have a beautiful day. Well, I think it was a 23, 24 degree day yesterday, and then all of a sudden overnight we dropped, like you say, down to sort of 7, 8, 9, 10 degrees, and it really does reflect in what we can see. But the good thing about it, as you say, is that the lake's nice and calm, and hopefully all those clever fishermen are on their way home now with a few fish after being out for an early morning hail. Exactly.
So, as I said, looking forward, tomorrow morning would be the one to do. But on today's scene, the rivers and streams, we had quite a nice bit of rain during the early in the week. Did you get that down there, and did that give the old streams a bit of a flush out or not?
Not really that much. We didn't get, well, we got a little bit of rain here. We got a couple of days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it certainly, you know, as I say, it was enough, but certainly I think the ground soaked it all up.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't really get into the rivers. The rivers never really moved very much. I think the Tongariro went up about a cubic in town.
Oh, yeah.
So not a huge impact on the surroundings, but the rivers are low and clear. We've still got lots of little fish in the rivers, which are really good because, as I say, we haven't had a flush for a while, but the browns are certainly coming through. So the Waitanui, Tongariro are certainly worth a look if anyone's looking for those browns. Because of the cold temperatures, we're not really seeing, much dry-fly activity, but as I say, the nymphing is still working well, but your smaller imitative patterns, longer leaders are certainly doing the trick at the moment.
Yeah, it's a bit unusual at the moment. I was just talking the other day with the insects and all that sort of thing. There's not as many flies around this summer as I reckon there normally is, unless it's just my imagination, and I don't want to start a plague of them because as soon as you mention it, it will happen. I mean, even the old dopey paspalum flies and all that, they're usually quite irritating by now, but I don't reckon there's been the numbers around that there has other years. I don't know whether it's just my imagination or what.
Well, it seems to be, like as I say, I think it just takes a while. On the Tongariro the other day, the fish was really quiet right through until probably nearly lunchtime. And it was then that the things got warm enough. And at the moment, like this time last year, we had an absolute abundance of the passionfly hoppers, and just haven't really seen them in their quantities this year. So I think it's just that extreme. You know, we're getting the cold nights. They're staying tucked up in bed, and they're not getting out and about as quickly or as much as what we would have hoped they were. So, as I say, your nymphing's the way to go at the moment, especially on the rivers. As I say, remembering that the upper rivers are all open. So if someone wants to go and have an adventure, they can have a raft trip down the Tongariro or something like that, which is a great way to see some great country and actually fish some new water as well. So plenty of opportunities of people who want to hear for a fly fish at the moment.
And of course, when those fish come in and they're newish to the river, if you like, every day that goes by, they become a little bit more resident, if you like, in some of those pools, and they do drop down to the bottom and sit there. And as you say, you just mentioned quite cleverly, I thought about the old nymphs. You know, if you can get a nymph down amongst it, that's where you'll pick them up, because the longer they're in that river, the more they become sort of familiar with their surroundings. So they will sit in little holes and cavities in behind logs and rocks and that sort of thing, and the old nymphs will get down to literally where they are.
No, it certainly will. And I mean, everyone comes into the shop and says, "Oh, what nymph should I use?" And I mean, I keep saying to people, when you get to the river, carry a range. You know, like heron coppers, prince nymphs, halfbacks, all of those sorts of flies, which are all imitative of your mayfly patterns. Some of your little caddis nymphs, Some of the bigger stonefly nymphs and stuff like that, carry a representative in your box. When you get to the river, don't be afraid to pick up a rock and turn it over and see what's crawling around underneath it.
Yeah.
That'll tell you what the fish are likely to be feeding on. So that's what you should try and tie on, something similar in size and colour as to what's under the rock, and then you're away and you're in business and you're in with a good chance of catching something. So
absolutely, mate. It's exactly the same with game fishing. You're out there. What lure should I use? Well, have a bit of a look at what the fish are feeding on. There's kahawai, mackerel, bonitos, albacore, all those sorts of things. And if that's what they're feeding on, then my mate Scotty Dara, young guy from Matamata, they put out a thought, well, they'll be feeding on albacore and skippies out there, so he put out a big purple and black lure, and bang, got one. So same sort of thing.
Yep, exactly. No, as I say, it's very much like that. And the same thing, out on the lake, as I say, the jigging's going at the moment, and we're getting that harling early morning, but later in the day, as I say, the thermoclines are coming in now, so we're starting to see those fish out in the deeper water. Tend to be around about that 30 to 35 metre mark at the moment.
Oh, yep.
But again, the smelt are starting to darken off, so try a mixture of lures. So use a grey ghost, a green orbit, and maybe a Parsons Glory or something like that. So you've got a little bit of a combination going.
Yep.
And if you're picking up the fish on one particular fly, that'll tend to tell you what the smelt are like at the depth that you're fishing. And so be adaptable. Change your lures if you need to get down to that, and you'll certainly in with a better chance of catching them.
Absolutely, my friend. Words of wisdom once again. We expect it each and every week, and we don't miss out. Good on you, mate. You have a great day.
We certainly will. Cheers, guys.
See you later, Brussels sprout.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, gee, thanks, Minnie.
He's a bit of a worry this morning. I'll give you the tip. All right, mate. You have a great day, eh?
Happy days. Cheers.
Cheers, man. Hey, look, give us a call. 07-834-1296. That'll get you in the draw for that beautiful Tiagra 50 gold reel on that Backbone Elite rod. It's a fully rolled rod, absolute gem of a piece of fishing equipment. It's all fully rolled right from one end to the other. It could be yours the first weekend in March. We're going to do the draw. You can get in the draw to text me as well on 0274 728 674. And of course, Mintie, they can get a hold of you in email, but they can also get a hold of you on Facebook.
Yeah, they can. Email waikatosport@newstalkzb.co.nz or through Waikato All Sports Breakfast. That marlin that was caught out ragging calf the other day said the belly was full of gurnard as well.
Oh, wow.
The marlin had bits of chewed up gurnard in them.
There we are.
Amazing what they'll eat, eh? It's 7:39 when we come back.
Perhaps you could troll a carrot with a hook on the end of it. And you're with the Fishing Show on News Talk ZB. Well, just in case you need it, you don't really need it, but the forecast for today, well, Colville, variable 10 knots. Sea slight easterly swell of 1 metre, and that's easing, believe it or not. Sunday, variable 10 knots. Monday, northeast 15 knots, and Tuesday, northeast 15 knots. The Bay of Plenty today, variable 10 knots. Sea slight, Sunday, variable 10 knots. Monday, northeast 15 knots developing. Tuesday, northeast of 15 knots. Raglan, the mighty west coast, southwest 10 knots. Sea slight to southwest swell of 1 metre with a period of 15 seconds. Sunday tomorrow, variable 10 knots. Monday, 15 knots in northeast, and Tuesday, 15 knots in northeast. So yeah, absolutely beautiful out there. The tide's free today on the east coast. A high tide at 2:15 this afternoon. A low tide, 8 o'clock this morning. A 1.7 metre tide, so they're quite small tides. On the west coast, we've got a high tide at 4:51 p.m. this afternoon. A low tide coming up in a couple of hours' time at 10:34 a.m. this morning. 2.6 metre tide, so not huge tides here either. Bite times for you today, 12:37 a.m. There's a very good one this afternoon or this evening at 6:50 p.m. So just before that change of light, 6:50 p.m. That'll be pertaining to sea fish and trout, of course, anything like that. If it bites, look out around about 6:50. 7:13 tomorrow morning, there's a very good one. 7:15 tomorrow morning. A mild one at 22 minutes past 1 in the afternoon, and a very good one tomorrow evening at 7:35. And also to do with the forecast, there's a little ray of sunshine down in the Rotorua region, and we're going to head off down there now to have a chat with him. Good morning, young Glenn.
Bonnie Budgie, how are you?
Oh, box of fluffies, mate. How's yourself?
Pretty good. Yeah, took it away quite nicely.
Now, have you got that lovely little lady home yet and looking after her, or is she still in the hospital?
No, she's back home, came home Monday, and just getting the old pain level down, so she's not too bad. She's certainly a lot better than she was when she was in hospital, Bunch.
Yeah, for sure, man. I know. Will you look after her and give her our kind regards, please? Hey, a beautiful weekend coming up. Gee, man, looks awesome. I mean, bit of scruffy weather during the week earlier on there. Nice bit of rain, precipitation around the place for the farmers and that. And it wouldn't make any difference because you're mostly lake fishing, but some of the rivers and streams would have come up a wee bit, but it hadn't really affected them too much. But this weekend, Glenn, boy, the world's your oyster. You should better do some very, very nice jigging, I would have thought, around the lakes with that very, very quiet wind factor.
Yeah, certainly pretty good. I actually have done some stream fishing this week, and everything's very, very low at the moment. We could certainly do with a bit more rain, that's for sure. So it's been a little bit tricky. Like the Nongata, Waititi, all the local streams still pretty low, but I mean there's still some pretty good shoreline fishing from Hamarana and round to the Aoho. There's still plenty happening there, so that's worth a go. And the harling actually off the Aoho and Hamarana has been pretty good too. Obviously, the fish taking advantage of that cooler water coming in from those two streams. So big numbers of fish in that area. So it's worth a look for a bit of wetlining or harling off those two spots. But as you said, moving back to road already, it's really been that for the last 2 weeks, it's really been that moose reef and the moose side of it, not the Halparu side of it, which has been producing the fish and, of course, off the end of it as well.
Well, you were saying last week then, there's just amazing number of smelt, and of course, being a predatory fish, the old trout, they love chasing those smelt around. Where you find the smelt, you're going to find the fish, and often they'll just be hanging around the edges. And really, you mentioned last week there, I mean, a fish caught over 10 pound during the last 10 days is absolutely awesome. And yeah, as you were saying, just continuing on. So this weekend, with those calmer conditions, you should better just sit there and jig really, rather than use if you've got a Minn Kota, great, but rather than anchor up. Yeah,
no, definitely. Drifting has been a huge advantage with or without the Minn Kota, if you can get the wind right. Those days where we've been getting huge numbers of fish, that's kind of eased back, but we're still getting reasonable numbers. But obviously, some of them have moved on, but there's still a lot of fish in that area, and we have been checking most of the other spots, and they certainly haven't fronted up there yet. So that's where I'll be heading anyway.
What about in the smelt pattern? They go through different stages of colour, of course, as they grow, darkening out usually as they mature a wee bit. So have you found any particular smelt pattern working better on the jig flies than others? Like often early in the season, your real silvery ones when the smelt are very juvenile, but they sort of darken out a wee bit as the season goes on. What's the story there?
Yeah, they certainly do. And and there's a lot of yellow under the belly of the smelt at the moment, so that yellow lady has been particularly good. But really the standout rig has been the UV Grey Ghost epoxy head one.
Oh, yeah.
You know how it's done, how Patsov does it in a UV and pearl.
Yeah.
The pearl has not been, well, for us anyway, has not really been a standout. And I mean, it's quite odd because when you look at the two flies together, there's not a lot in it. But the way the light refracts through the body at depth is very, very important, and it's that UV purpley colour that's doing the job at the moment. So clearly, it's that vein effect. So that one on the top, the yellow lady in the middle, and he also does a grey ghost, but it's got like a tinsel body.
Oh yes, yep.
Yeah, it's kind of a goldy coloured body. That one has been very, very good on the bottom. That one, obviously, the grey ghost. The ginger mitt can, depending on how the light refracts through it, can actually look like a smelt or a bully. So, and remember, we always keep the bully on the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Mintie's just fallen off his chair, but anyway, we won't go there. Hey, if you need, I often, when I get a haircut, I send my trimmings down to Pat to making the old silver Dorothys and the grey ghost and that sort of thing. Mate, he finds it quite handy.
Yeah, well, that's good. Can you have a haircut, because apparently they're a bit short at the moment.
Bit short, so. Only at one end though. All right, mate. Yeah,
his hair's too damn short to cut any more off.
He's picked himself off the floor. He's back on his chair. All right, mate. You have a great day out there, and thanks for taking time out with a chat with us. We really do appreciate it, mate.
Awesome bunch. Have a good week, eh?
Yeah, good on you, Copper. Righto, there are Glenn Skinner from the Trout Connection down there in Rota Vegas. Great bloke. Get out there on the water with him. You'll have a hell of a lot of fun. He's good for a giggle, but he really knows his stuff as well, and you'll enjoy a day out with him. We'll be back in a moment. We'll head up to the Mercury Bay region and catch up with a big fella, John Elwood.
The weekend's finally here. And it starts now. It's the All Sport Breakfast with Peter Kelly of Bailey's Real Estate. Trust a proven performer. News Talk ZB.
Well, we can't get a hold of John Elwood at the moment, and Rick Pollock's down in the Waikato Bay. We can't get a hold of him either, but that's right. We're going to do a little bit of a fill for you because before we, I'll do a bit of a roundup on what the fishing's been like in the Bay of Plenty and the Mercury Bay region. I just want to talk about this Wish for Fish again. It's a great thing. Bryce Deneen is the guy's name, and as I said, he became a tetraplegic in 2007. Which was absolutely tragic. It was from a shallow water diving accident, and we're going to talk to him next week, hopefully, and find out exactly what's happening. But they're trying to build this big catamaran, or it's three-quarters built now over in the Tauranga region, and it's just an amazing machine. And what he wants to do is enjoy fishing still, but he wants to get other people out there who, have disabilities and that sort of thing, and perhaps can't get out on a normal boat, so they're building this vessel as a wheelchair accessible and that sort of thing. They're also going to take people out that are suffering from depression and those sorts of things and just having a bad day of it all. And they think that fishing, and I agree with them, that can be an amazing tonic. So the Lions and Matamata are going to get in behind this, and they're having a charity dinner come auction as well. And it's going to be in the Matamata Piako Civic and Memorial Centre on March the 10th. So if you can keep that available, March the 10th, the auction, they're going to have all sorts of stuff there apparently, so that'll be quite interesting. I'll probably donate some fishing tackle and those sorts of things, so if you come over, there'll be that sort of thing available as well, and we'll discuss it more with Bryce next week. So it's an amazing big cat. I think that there's email Kim at Hampton Family 4 at Extra, but Mintie's going to post all that up on his Facebook page anyway. And
I'll do my bestest to get that stuff up there. I'll see if I can't get that from the email onto the Facebook.
Yeah. But if you want to make a booking, if you can write this down now, you can email Kim. So email Kim. So the email is Hampton Family, so HAMPTON Family 4, and then at extra.co.nz. That's pretty cool. Try and get in behind that because I think it's an amazing gesture, and as I said, we'll talk to them more next week. The fishing, okay. Talking to Rick Pollock, and he said, look, it has been a wee bit patchy to be fair, and last time we spoke to him, he sort of rated the fishing down Waihao Bay and the Eastern Bay of Plenty area around about a 4 out of 10, which you'd have to say is a little bit disappointing, really, to be fair. But guys like Eric MacGyver and that sort of thing, they've been down there, they live down, or not live, but they spend a fair bit of the summer down there in the Waihao Bay region. They've got a batch down there along with Mike Randrup and guys like that. And they've got their finger on the pulse out all the time out there, and they honestly believe that the best is yet to come. The Nationals start next week, of course, so there has been some quite good fishing down there at times, but it's been a wee bit patchy. 2 or 3 quite nice yellowfin been caught out in the bay in the last week as well, but an area that seems to be fishing quite well, if you're looking at venturing out, and is the back of the Aldermans and that sort of 100-metre line to the 200-metre line right down towards Mere Island. Now, there's a very, very good area that I think always fires up pretty well this time of the year, and it's almost on a direct line from Whangamata to the point of Honeymoon Bay at Mere Island, and in about that 90 metres. So it's probably in a straight line 4 or 5 miles, if you like, towards Wonga from Mere, and you're literally in that sort of around that 90 metre, and there seems to be bait fish there pretty consistently, and over the years there's been some amazing fish there. I remember one year the Whangamata tournament, they had 61 marlin landed or boat tagged and released and all that sort of thing in one day, so that was pretty incredible. So that area there is where it'd be one of the first areas I'd try, and then at the back of the Aldies on that sort of 100, 150 just outside the pins is another area that's been fishing quite well. And John Elwood tells me that the hook off the top of Red Merc is just starting to fire up a wee bit, but he reckons the best bait and everything is in fairly close, almost sort of Sugarloaf, Castle Rock out to the what they call the middle ground. Around that area there off Whitianga is where where there's good bait, and where there's good bait, that's where the fish will be. So hope that's helped you with the fishing hour. Coming up, of course, is the big sports hour, Mintie.
It is indeed, and of course tomorrow, Matamata Karo Rama tomorrow out at Matamata. All the old cars turning up there out at Matamata tomorrow.
Oh, that'll be a great day.
That'll be a good day out there, and of course lots going on. See you next week, and I'll be back after 8 o'clock.